Good morning and Happy New Year. It's been a very long time since I made a video, well over a year now, but I am here today at Wolcott Mill Metro Park. It's about 45 minutes north of Detroit, and they have a old grist mill here. I'll try to get some photos of, and part of the Clinton River runs through here, so that's what I'm gonna try to do today. It's cold, it's like 19, with a wind chill of 5, a little bit of snow on the ground, not much in the trees, but yeah. So let's take a look at Wolcott Mill. So I don't know if the mill is actually worth taking any photos of, because there's a lot of fences and there's a road right over there. Signs, park benches, picnic tables, stuff like that. So I don't think it would make for a great photo. But there's an old farm tool out here, so I'm gonna see if I can't find a composition for this thing. It's looking pretty neat. I think this old farm tool is getting lost in all the trees and the branches and stuff in the background. I'm blend right in, and I don't think that's gonna make for a great photo. So on we go. Let's go see if there's anything with the Clinton River that we can get down there. I did get some new case filters, ND filters, so maybe I'll try a little long exposure of the water. Hopefully the wind isn't too bad. It's blowing decently quickly right now, so let's go see what I can find down by the river. So this spot looks kind of nice, so I'm gonna set up the camera, slap a couple filters on it, and see what I can get. All right, so I got the camera set up, slapped an ND8 filter on there right now. I think it's giving me, yeah, we're looking at like 1/50th of a second. And I don't think that's long enough. So here's my composition. This is what we're looking at. We got the ice, still ice, and the water moving in the background there. I hope it ends up being a decent photo. I'm gonna slap a longer or a darker ND filter on there, try to get a little bit longer of an exposure. Really want to try to get that movement. I need to look at the photos here and see what's actually coming out. But yeah, well, let's keep moving with it. All right, so I slapped an ND64 filter on there. I'm sitting at f11 ISO 100, and it's giving me an exposure of 1 second. So that should be decent for what I'm looking for. If not, I got an ND 1000, and I might slap that on just to get a little bit longer. So let's take a look. I'm gonna slap the ND 1000 on there just to get a longer exposure, and we'll see what we can get. All right, so the ND 1000 filter is giving me a 15-second exposure at f11. It's pretty long. We're gonna try it, then I'm gonna bump it down to f8 on the aperture and get a little bit shorter one, and I'll see what one comes out best, and I'll throw those up now. Well, my hands are absolutely frozen, and yeah, it's freaking cold. Michigan in the winter, sometimes you set out to have a grand day of photography and the cold says no. So I'm gonna head home and I'll see you there. Well, I'm back home and my fingers are no longer numb. I got my drink, and I thought maybe some of you would like to see how I edit my photos. You've already seen what I've taken out there, and it's all the same shot, just different shutter speeds. Let me know what one you guys like best, all right, down in the comments, and I'm gonna edit the one that I like best. So let's dive into Lightroom and see how my workflow goes.
All right, so we are in Lightroom. Normally what I do starting out is I come over and I look at whatever presets I have and I use those as a jumping off point. Now, all of these photos, they are the same exact composition. It's not a great composition, but you make do with what you have when you're out shooting. There's this S that the ice forms, this little curve. That would be great if I could have gotten it to maybe come from the bottom corner over here and, you know, S its way through the photo. But further down the bank, it was a little bit steeper, similar to how it is on the other side of the river. And there was no clearing for me to get to it. And where I shot, the tripod was even, it wasn't very stable, I guess. It was kind of a hard, difficult place to go. So these are all the same. This one is the 8-second exposure at f8, ISO 100 with the ND1000. This is the 15-second exposure at f11, ND1000. This one is the ND64. Taking at f11, this is an 1/8 of a second. Got some nice smoothing there. This one is the same. This is 1 second exposure, so a little bit longer. And then here is the f4. What is this? This is 1/8 of a second. And this had, I believe, the ND8. So these ones all had f4, and just they're not great. So I'm going to work on these 4 right here. All right. So you've already seen them by now. Let me know what one was your favorite in the comments. And I'm going to work on the one that is my favorite, which is the 8-second. There's just something about the way these little, I don't want to call them rapids, but where the water is going over these rocks, I like it better than, there we go. And the, 15-second exposure. So normally, like I said, I'll start by looking at these different presets, just seeing if there's anything that catches my interest. I've kind of already looked through these, and there's not much that I've found interesting. I kind of want, this is winter, it's freezing cold, so I'm kind of looking for something like this light and airy to, see, this one's not half bad. So we'll just choose this, and then we'll come back into these panels over here and take a look. So first, we're going to remove chromatic aberration and enable profile corrections. It's really bright. It was really bright out. We're going to correct this horizon. So I just hit the auto and the transform. And that in and of itself isn't half bad. Still got some work to do. I am going to turn down, you know what? I'm going to leave the contrast. I'm going to leave the contrast a little bit. The shadows, yeah, there's still detail in there, and I like that. So with the contrast bumped just a smidge, I'm going to raise the highlights just a bit more, though. And the blacks, no, we're going to leave that right about where it was at. Clarity, I'm bumping down. No, not. Take that back. Dehaze. Just a hair. Now, for the color mixer, I'm not going to mess with it. I like the colors that are on here. And same thing with the shadows and the color grading. So the sharpening. Sharpening is, for me, is to taste. This seems fairly sharp. I'm going to bump it right here, about 75. And then I'm going to mask this. And I don't want everything sharp. So I'm going to mask it to about right about there. And that to me looks a whole lot better. I'm not using the AI noise reduction on here. I am going to just bump this noise up to about 50. And that removes a lot of the noise that I saw earlier. Bump the color denoise up to 40. There we go. All right. I mean, that is pretty much it. So this is generally what I do. Editing these photos is not my favorite part of the photography process. I generally dislike it. I enjoy being out taking photos more than being in. Let's bump the contrast just a little bit more. Actually, you know what? I am going to get rid of that dehaze. So it was adding too much white through here. So we're just going to put it, I'm going to leave that, I'm going to zero it out. So, alright. Yeah, that's that. And do we want any? No, we do not. None of that. I don't want to mask anything. I don't think it needs it. So yeah. Maybe, let me see here real quick. I'm just going to try something. We're going to see if what it does for the sky. Because there was a lot of detail in the sky that is not coming through. So here, let's just bump that down a little bit. Let's see. My computer is running slow today. And that I think looks a little bit better. How much contrast? What does it do there? Nothing. Lower the highlights all the way, you can start to see the clouds in it. Alright, and that, to me, is good. Let render do its thing. Yeah, it looks much better. Alright, so that's that. And yeah. Alright, so that's how I edit my photos. And let me know what one you guys think is the best.
So that's how I edit my photos. Real simple. I try not to overcook them. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. It's all a matter of taste. And honestly, if you're struggling with thinking your photos are turning out well or not, don't worry about it. All that matters is if you like it. All right? Who cares what somebody on the internet thinks about your work? All that matters is what you think. So that was my process. Sometimes I use the presets, sometimes I don't. It all just depends on the look I'm going for. If you use presets, just use those as a jumping off point. Sometimes you might not have to make a whole lot of edits. I didn't have to with these ones today. So yeah, thanks for stopping by. Hit the like button, subscribe. If you hit that like button, it really helps me out. If you subscribe, that's awesome. Hit the bell, you'll get notifications for, when I post a video. It's a New Year's 2025. It's been well over a year since I posted a video, and this is, I believe, is my first one that I've done down here in my basement. Sorry about the light not being great, but I am in my basement. I don't have any natural light in this room. So yeah, I plan on posting a lot more this year. Photos, you can find me on Instagram, Facebook, and yeah, so plan on making some more videos this year, getting back into this, and hopefully it's stuff that you guys like. So I appreciate you stopping by, and if you made it this far, thank you. I really, really, truly appreciate it. Thank you.